and screamed as she threw herself into the pond behind her.
Imogen!
Edmond pulled her up immediately. Imogen curled up in his arms, trembling.
I only wanted to pray for God's wedding blessing for Isabella, but she...
Isabella! Spread your legs wider! The guests are waiting! Isabella, wake up! You're not that blessed holy mistress anymore. Now you're nothing but a slutty dog. Keep practicing, or I'll strip you naked and throw you out.
Older daughter of Earl Ashwood, blessed by God to bring good luck to my partner. By the Pope's order, the day my adopted sister Imogen and I turned 18, we had to draw straws to let God choose our husbands. I was chosen to marry Edmond, a young rookie knight. Imogen was going to marry Sebastian Black, the cursed, brutal Black Duke. Imogen begged me to swap with her, but I refused to disobey God's will. Then, she jumped into a lake and ended her own life. Edmond never said anything about it. He was incredibly gentle with me, brushing my hair every single day and taking me on walks. But the very day he became the knight commander, he turned into a monster. He framed my family as heretics, 27 lives all being burned to ashes, leaving me in total despair. A sharp pain snapped me back to reality. The whip tore right through the skin on my shoulder. I made up my mind, snatched the dagger from the guard's waist, and plunged it straight into my own heart. I died filled with pure hatred and regret. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back 3 days before the wedding, the exact day we were going to draw straws to decide our fates. The meeting hall was packed. My father sat in his velvet chair, with a wooden box holding 2 copper coins right in front of him. Edmond stood to the side, staring at me, looking nervous. The life-changing moment was the same in my past life. Sebastian Black, the Black Duke, was cursed and totally brutal. Everyone said he wouldn't even survive this winter, and whoever married him would only suffer. I looked past those 2 coins of fate and looked at Edmond. He seemed to be mouthing the words to me.
Imogen is too lonely by herself. You all owe her, and you should all go keep her company.
Isabella! Isabella!
My father's voice suddenly snapped me out of my thoughts. I looked up fast, took a step forward, and said in a firm, steady voice, "No need to draw. I will be the Black Duke's bride." The second I finished talking, Edmond snapped his head up, his amber eyes suddenly lighting up with joy. He almost threw himself in front of my father.
In that case, Count Ashwood, I am more than willing to marry Lady Imogen.
His voice was full of desperation and rush, making the Schönnel-Kraused shock. But in my past life, Edmond did not act like this at all. Back then, before the results were even out, he thought I was chosen for the Duke. He dropped to his knees, begging me not to leave him. He swore to protect me with his life. My father was moved by him, and he used our family's reputation to help Edmond become the knight commander. I narrowed my eyes, looking at Edmond, who was so desperate to marry Imogen now. His reaction was totally off, unless he remembers the past life too. My father slammed his hand on the table, knocking out his silver wine cup.
When you begged me to adopt you, you promised to marry Isabella.
The Pope needed a girl from the Ashwood family to calm down the cursed wrath of Duke Black. To save me from going, my father adopted Edmond, an orphan back then, training him to be a gentleman and helping him join the knights. But in the past life, Edmond threw my father into a dungeon, nailed his 10 fingers to the wall with iron, and burned him to death. He used that brutal cruelty to get revenge because my father stopped him from being with Imogen. Thing about my father's horrific end in the past life, I walked up, held his chain down, and gently shook my head. Edmond was already a member of the Knights, given a holy sword by the Pope himself. We couldn't cross him just yet.
Count Ashwood, I'm not that pathetic little loser anymore. Some promises shouldn't be taken seriously.
I looked at him, trying my best to stay calm. Edmond, don't worry. I will marry the Black Duke. Edmond froze for a second, but his eyes quickly turned and scary.
Isabella, you better really mean that.
He walked right up to me and whispered,
Otherwise, I'll show you that the fire from our past life can easily burn again.
I just nodded. Edmond frowned, surprised that I didn't react. He grabbed Imogen's hand, and stormed out of the hall. I took a deep breath and forced my anger down. I am the blessed holy Madiston. I can bring good luck to my partner and even break the curse. This is exactly why I dare to marry Duke Black, and Edmond was stupid enough to think I'm the same naive girl who loved him in the past life. Just 3 days later, I will be the Duchess, and I will make him pay back every single bit of pain I suffered in my past life! 2 days before the wedding, Duke Black sent someone to bring me a diamond ring.
Lady Isabella, the Duke is deeply grateful that you are willing to be his bride. He promised he would give you a perfect wedding.
After saying thank you, I carefully tucked the ring away and walked alone to St. Mary's Convent. The old nun handed me a sapphire necklace and drew a cross on my forehead.
God bless you, my poor Isabella. Your mother held this necklace and knelt before the Holy Mother, praying for 3 days, just for you to have a happy marriage.
I gripped the necklace tight, my eyes burning with tears. After saying goodbye to the nun, I walked out of the convent, only to run straight into Imogen and Edmond.
Sister, your necklace is so pretty. Anyway, you won't live long after marrying the Black Duke. Why don't you just give me the necklace?
Absolutely no. I promised Mother to wear it at my wedding. Edmond stared at the necklace in my hands. He knew exactly how much it meant to me. But Imogen wouldn't stop whining.
Edmond, I want it.
Isabella, hand it over.
Edmond, this is the wedding blessing my mother prayed for me. How dare you?
Lady Isabella, you are so obsessed with wedding vows? Are you still dreaming about marrying me?
The moment he finished talking, Imogen lunged forward to grab it. She pulled it with a hard yank, and the necklace broke. The blue saffrons were scattered all over the ground. The day before the wedding, my father looked worried.
Duke Black is cursed and totally brutal. Are you sure you want to marry him?
I had no other choice, so he looked issued. Father, the Ashwood family needs to bring back our honor, and we cannot disobey the Pope. My father didn't say a word. He just let out a deep sigh. Right after leaving my father's study, Imogen blocked my way, grabbing my hand with a nasty smirk on her face.
Sister, stop dreaming about Edmond and just go be your obedient little Duchess.
Looking at how paranoid she was acting, I just found it hilarious.
Let go.
I coldly shook her off, barely using any strength. But she gave me a wicked smile, turned around, and screamed as she threw herself into the pond behind her.
Imogen!
Edmond pulled her up immediately. Imogen curled up in his arms, trembling.
I only wanted to pray for God's wedding blessing for Isabella, but she...
Isabella! How can you be so evil?
Before I could even speak, he shoved me straight into the lake. I struggled with my life, but he just carried Imogen and walked away without looking back. By the time I crawled out shivering and soaking wet,
You already owe her a life. But, for the sake of our past, I can save you.
he tossed the vash right at me and said,
Drink this potion tomorrow night and you will be fake dead. I'll have someone sneak you out. All you have to do is agree to be my secret lover.
I raised my hand and threw the vial straight into the deep water. You don't deserve it. Once tomorrow comes, I will have absolutely nothing to do with this traitor ever again.
My half-sister and I both chose a shifter mate. In our previous life, she picked first and chose the hot clan heir with the perfect looks and powerful family background. She left me the lowly serpent. 3 years into her marriage, the hawk shifter's mistress and illegitimate son knelt before my sister and humiliated her completely. Meanwhile, I took control of the entire serpent clan and earned my husband's devotion. She pushed me off a cliff out of jealousy. When I opened my eyes, I was back on the day we chose our mates. My sister barely concealed the excitement in her voice as she rushed to wrap her arms around the serpent's tail. I knew then that she had been reborn too. The serpent clan are lustful by nature. I wonder how long she'll last. When Victoria threw her arms around that serpent tail, face flushed with open adoration, even Lady Hargrove went still. Everyone knew the serpent clan was considered the lowest of the shifter races, cold-blooded in every sense. The hawk clan, by contrast, mated for life. One wife, no exceptions. Loyalty written into their bones. And the hawk male standing in the room today was the future clan leader. Sharp-eyed, broad-shouldered, the kind of man every woman in the room had been silently hoping to catch. Victoria still wouldn't let go of that tail. Lady Hargrove's expression curdled. She'd brought the serpent here specifically to humiliate me. She hadn't planned on her own daughter falling for it.
Are you sure about this? Mother, he's the only one I'll ever marry.
Even the serpent turned to look at her, his tail coiled hard around her waist, pulling her tight against his chest. That was what a serpent did when he felt something, the beginning of desire. Victoria's face went scarlet, her resolve locked into place. Lady Hargrove pressed her lips together and gave in. With that settled, the hawk male, Adrian Ashford, turned to me. He dipped his head in a slight, unhurried bow.
Then it's you, Miss Alara. I'll send the betrothal gifts tomorrow.
In my past life, it was Victoria who had chosen Adrian. She'd walked into the Ashford estate as its new mistress, draped in the prestige of the most powerful hawk family in the region. He seemed devoted on the surface, 3 years of polished appearances. Then a woman appeared at the gate with his 10-year-old son. Victoria came apart. She ran home to her mother, dignity in pieces. But Adrian had spent years building his reputation carefully. He brought the woman and boy home under the excuse of a drunken mistake. And to protect the Hawk clan's tradition against taking a second wife, he divorced Victoria outright. Lady Hargrove marched back to the Ashford estate to demand answers. The mistress met them at the door, chin lifted.
I'm Mrs. Ashford now. My son has awakened his abilities. What exactly are you going to do about that? Give it time. I'll be the clan leader's wife, then his mother.
They were thrown out publicly. After that, Victoria unraveled. She sat in the courtyard every day, vacant and muttering. When someone passed close enough, she'd grab their leg with both hands, her face twisting.
I'm the clan leader's wife! I am!
She never came back from it. My serpent husband, by contrast, had been born into nothing, but he dismissed every one of his kept women. He trained relentlessly and built his clan up from scraps. People said I'd made the better choice after all. Even Lady Hargrove, who had never bothered to hide her contempt for me, started showing up at my door with smiles she didn't mean, asking me to visit. Then, Victoria had one of her lucid moments. She lured me to the edge of the cliff.
I'll drag you down to hell with me.
Her eyes burned with hatred as she shoved me over. Now she's chosen my husband instead. I wonder if she can handle the serpent's excessive affection. The Ashford betrothal gifts arrived quickly. They filled half the courtyard. Victoria didn't spare a glance for the serpent clan's meager offering. She sweet-talked Lady Hargrove into patting her trousseau until it groaned. Ivy told me that Victoria and her serpent had been meeting in secret. Someone had spotted them coming out of an alley together, clothes barely clinging to them, her face still flushed. Half the street had seen it. She came to me the same afternoon, brimming.
My fiancé loves me. What does that have to do with you? This is just how he shows his love for me.
And if you say a single word to Mother about any of it, I'll make your life miserable.
I just watched her go. She looked nothing like the girl she used to be. The softness was gone. Whatever innocence had been in her face had been thoroughly used up. On our wedding day, 2 wedding horse carriages left the estate together. Drums, horns, the whole performance. Adrian Ashford sat high on a pale horse in his wedding white, all clean lines and devastating bone structure, looking exactly like someone who knew it. I knew why he'd gone through with this. The matriarch once said to him,
You are the only heir. You must marry a noblewoman to continue the bloodline. That was the only condition for me to inherit the clan leadership.
But his mistress was low-born, ineligible. He needed a proper wife. If she gave him a son first, better. Either way, he didn't lose. I set down my wedding bouquet. 2 familiar figures had appeared at the side of the road.
Father!
The boy lunged toward Adrian's horse. The word was barely out before a beautiful woman yanked him back and smothered his mouth with her hand.
Forgive us, everyone. My son misses his father. He got confused. He didn't mean anything by it.
Adrian pulled his reins taut. He exhaled once.
Today is my wedding. Can't you keep your child in hand? If he'd startled the horse carriage, I'd have had all your heads. Get them out of here.
The woman's face went white. She bit her lip and stepped back.
I'm so sorry. We're leaving.
I wasn't about to let this dissolve quietly.
Husband, don't be so hard on them. The child didn't mean any harm. And today is a happy occasion. Why not do a good deed? I actually need another servant woman as my side. If she's willing, she could come along with us.
This woman had one obsession, becoming Mrs. Ashford. Now that Adrian had taken a wife, she was already fraying at the edges. One of my people needed barely 3 sentences to maneuver her into showing up here today. If I offered her a door to the estate, she'd walk through it without thinking. She hesitated for half a breath, then looked away from Adrian's sharp, warning stare.
Thank you, ma'am.
The carriage rolled on. She followed behind, boy in hand. The crowd murmured approvingly along the route.
The new Mrs. Ashford is something else. Even after that scene, she finds them a position.
Must run in the family. The Ashfords are good people.